You're still watching Today with John and Helen live on Plus TV Africa, DSTV channel 408 and Star Times 308. Next, and on the third segment of the show are Dr. Olayinka Oduwaye and Dr. Yewande Omikunle, two extraordinary individuals who have given so much of their personal and professional time to cancer charity. Today, they will be x-raying the crucial topic, curtailing cancer, a fight to finish. I would guess right away that it's a topic close to the hearts of many.
Exactly. Dr. Olayinka Oduwaye is the founder of the Sarah Ayoka Oduwaye Foundation, a cancer charity established in honor of his late mother, who succumbed to breast cancer a few years ago. His journey in medicine began in Nigeria, where he earned his MBBS from Ahmadu Bello University. His dedication led him to the UK for further training, achieving his fellowship of the Royal College of Surgeons in Edinburgh. And it's remarkable to note that he is now a general practitioner specializing in diabetes and obesity within the NHS in London, and remains actively involved in charitable work in both the UK and here at home, Nigeria.
And accompanying him is Dr. Yewande Omikunle, the Director of Public Affairs for the Sarah Ayoka Oduwaye Foundation, SAOF. Dr. Omikunle is a passionate advocate for young women and girls with a background in political science and public policy analysis. She has extensive experience in research, policy development, and advocacy, having worked with various governmental and non-governmental organizations in Nigeria. Her commitment to empowerment and development shines through her work with the foundation and other NGOs.
And today we're doing all charity on this show. So together they'll bring a wealth of knowledge and experience to our discussion today on the fight against cancer. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Olayinka Oduwaye and Dr. Yewande Omikunle Ogunbiyi. So good to have you on the show today.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Welcome.
It's a double barrel.
Yeah, very rarely do we have this arrangement.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Dr. Oduwaye and Dr. Omikunle, it's so good to have you. We'll quickly dive into it because we have a lot to ask you about how you've been fighting this war
The fight to
against
finish.
cancer. So, what inspired both of you to become involved in cancer advocacy? They say ladies first after gentlemen, so I'll ask Dr. Oduwaye first.
Besides Mama's experience, any other?
Well, as a doctor per se, the whole idea is to save life. Through the course of my career, Mama died in 1984 precisely. I was a fourth-year medical student then in Ahmadu Bello University. I came down to Lagos from Zaria and saw her. She was more or less like a skeleton. She recognized me, and that was our last meeting. A week later, after I saw her, I had to go back to Zaria. In those days, things were very difficult. I was a very, very poor student. So when they came back and said she's died, I was actually in obstetric class then when the note came from Lagos. Some of my colleagues were shocked the way I took it. They said I knew she was going to die. But right inside me and her, before she died, I said something good will come out of this death. Yes. And here we are today.
Here we are today. And Dr. Omikunle?
Well, my passion for charity grew when I was a child. My mom is a matron in a rural community, a community health official. So her life as a nurse did not inspire me because she wanted me to study medicine and surgery. And working condition, the office where she was working then was a dilapidated building in one of the local governments in Ekiti State.
Can imagine.
So I told her, I can't study nursing or medicine because you are broke. And I want to work in the back so that I can make a lot of money and change your living condition.
Yeah.
She said I should go ahead. Until I gained admission in the University of Ibadan, that was privileged to enter UCH. And I saw the difference between tertiary healthcare and primary healthcare.
Okay.
But then I felt it was too late. So during my doctoral program in Abuja, I volunteered with a lot of non-government organizations, Society for Family Health, World Health Organization, Good Growth, Youth Empowerment Foundation, and we had the privilege to move around in different communities in the north, in north central Abuja to be precise. So I saw the living condition of people who had no access to basic medical care.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of children who have not even entered hospital before, who had no access to any health care of any form. They rely on traditional medicine. This conversation is not to disregard the relevance of traditional medicine or alternative medicine, but I can see that people in rural community really believe more in traditional medicine compared to orthodox. Yes.
So that planted the seed of this advocacy
in me. So I joined SOF in 2022, and we've been moving from one community to the other. And I realized there has been no relevant education in the area of cancer. So that's what we do.
And that's how you.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mama's story happened. Your story happened way back.
Yes.
Bring us to the now, when we're looking at cancer. What's the situation? Where are we at this point?
The sad aspect of it is that I see both sides. I work in the UK, and I'm always in America too, because we have another branch of SOF in the US. So my experience as a clinician in the UK, and also here, because I've worked in Nigeria before going abroad for my fellowship, there's a wide gap of practice everywhere. But incidentally, I think there's a lot that can be done, because what they do in the UK is they pour more money into the primary health care.
Who is they?
The government in the UK, the National Health Service, they pour more into preventive health than curative health. And what I saw here in Nigeria is that the rural healthcare is virtually nothing. Healthcare in Nigeria is mainly in the city.
True.
Because we've had very before the insecurity challenges in Nigeria, we used to go out. We had to draw a line when we were almost kidnapped in Kogi State. So the last time I was in Kogi State with my late friend, we brought doctors from abroad, UCH and Ilorin Teaching Hospital. By the time we got to the Ogori Hospital, there was virtually nothing. We did 5 days there. And when you see the kind of cases we were seeing, very, very pathetic. Fungating breast cancer at this age in Nigeria. So we have a lot to do to catch it early and prevent those ugly cases in our community.
Yes,
Preventive.
we have a lot to do.
Yes.
We have a lot to do. And I think at this point, let us focus a bit on Sarah Ayoka Oduwaye Foundation itself. You know, what are some of the key initiatives that you've implemented to combat cancer?
Well, as Dr. Yewande has said, we have people on grant who go around, depending on our meager resources, schools, churches and mosques, as they are doing here in Nigeria. We are also doing the same thing in the UK. Within our resources, educate people on cancer, and we also give our newsletters out. And I use this opportunity to also thank the Cancer Research UK. This is our newsletter. So we'll go around with not just talking to them, sharing their ideas and see where we can improve things better. We also follow it with leaflets, and they can always link up with our Nigerian office if they need help. And we have dedicated doctors, both in Ilorin and Ibadan Teaching Hospital, where we signpost our patients, those that find to be needing help for further care.
Are you getting assistance from individuals, NGOs?
Well, not as we would have loved to. Over the last 16 years we've been existing, a good part of it, the resources is mainly from me, our chairman, Dr. Banji Oyebami, and our chairman in America, Mr. Albert Van Leer. But having said that, we also have people, doctors, nurses who volunteer their time free to help us. And we also have people in the UK who actually signed up as regular donors to SOF to help. Treating cancer is not a one-day treatment. That's why we want to catch it early, because people are paying with their life for cancer management. Which shouldn't be the case, because if you get it early, the chances of cure is very high.
Okay, so Dr. Yewande, how can communities support cancer patients? Earlier on you talked about information and education being key.
Yes.
So how can we have more people, communities that are closer to the people, to the families, know more about this and how to prevent cancer?
Yes.
Can we prevent cancer? Really?
We can prevent cancer.
How?
But we need proper orientation. We start from the primary healthcare officials. They need to be educated because we have encountered problem with rural communities. From the primary health officials, they need to be given orientation. The orientation will be passed across to the community dwellers. I can imagine us going out on outreach. The primary health official will want to know what they will benefit from us before they pass our question across to the community. When people who are health officials on ground are looking for benefit before they can pass cancer awareness.
Yeah.
So how do you want to achieve adequate cancer awareness in rural communities? We need to educate the health officials. We need to educate the traditional rulers. Getting people to educate is also another problem. They want compensation before they even settle down to listen to what we have to say. So we need to start from that approach, and I call it using a bottom to the top approach. You start from the bottom. We don't really have much problem in the state level because they have access to social media, flyers, they attend outreaches, but we have some communities in Nigeria without internet facility, no electricity to watch television. So these are the factors we need to urgently address before we can achieve adequate cancer education in Nigeria.
Apparently, the picture you're painting it suggests that this task, this initiative is to the least humongous. It's massive.
It is. It is.
What role do corporate organizations play in supporting cancer research and patient care? Because those will be,
That's true.
heavy.
The issue is that most of our people don't have that mind of giving, and attention is diverted to a different thing.
Yeah.
We are using this opportunity to appeal to corporate organizations to help us, Sarah Ayoka Oduwaye Foundation, and other similar organizations, NGO in the field, doing the same thing. In the UK, there's something they call corporate social responsibility. If you give to charitable organization, the government will actually give you a rebate.
Yes.
And you're actually helping
Tax
yourself
rebate.
and helping the community too, and helping the government. Who knows who will be the next victim? Who knows who will be the next patient? So the whole idea is helping each other to help the community. That's where we are.
That is so true. Who knows who the next victim would be? Could be a member of your family.
It could even be yourself.
Could be yourself.
It could even be yourself. So helping a community, helping NGO, you are indirectly helping yourself.
Okay. So you talked earlier on about UK and the US, the government getting involved.
Yes.
How involved is Nigerian government?
Well, it's been quite a while. I've left Nigeria now, but most of the things I see, because the moment I arrive, I always go to the village. Incidentally, my father is the head of a local community in Abeokuta North. So I have a feeling I was in the village yesterday talking to the villagers. Our rural health center is a collapsed health center. So where do you start from? The villagers are neglected. I had the opportunity of meeting one of the former governors when he came to London. And I told him, you are not a governor of Ilorin. You're a governor of Kwara State. All these things you are telling us about Ilorin. Attention here is diverted. You understand? We want the rural people to feel part of the government. Part of the government giving exactly what is happening in Lagos in any rural community.
Sure.
Light, water, and security are the basic thing. If you don't have those basic things, we are a non-starter. This is the issue on ground. All over rural community, there's virtually nothing, which is sad.
Okay, doctor, so many times we see cancer patients and their carers as their families, like resigning to fate.
That's true.
It has happened. They just wait for the person to pass
It's
on.
a lot of
And
money to
so
treat.
what are the biggest challenges faced by cancer patients and their families, and how can we address them?
You see,
I mean, you've given us an insight.
yeah, you look at my own story. When something happened in your family, sadly the person is gone. What can we make
Yes.
a sad story turn into a good story? So if your family died of cancer, you can network and volunteer based on your own experience.
Yes.
Because we have patient champions. They call them patient Caesar. People who have actually experienced cancer in their they can. This is what we saw when Mama was dying. This is what we saw. Can we do it better?
Yeah.
When you sit down, because we organize all those things in the UK, and Dr. Iwandi is doing the same thing here, you bring people who have gone through those challenges to share their experience. We hope and pray our government too will help us, because public health education is very, very key.
Okay.
You don't need to throw money at everything, but if you can get it early, it helps you and it helps the family.
Okay. So let me ask Dr. Yewande,
Okay.
the foundation really, take us through what you do to help cancer patients from point A to point Z, for example,
Okay. The first thing we do,
as quickly as possible.
okay, the first thing we do is to create awareness. And what we do is moving from one community to the other, partner with health agencies, even rural community chairman. Then, when we get them settled, any cases we diagnose, we refer them to a comprehensive attention. Then, we also have other programs targeted at promoting health, promoting education, agriculture, and community development. We have a scholarship trust fund for youth and extremely brilliant students, and also people from vulnerable family that cannot afford their children's school fees. We provide writing materials, textbook for their education.
Does the foundation help with the treatment of the patient? When you find somebody who has
Right now, we don't have that resources. That's why we are using this opportunity to appeal to
Education.
corporate body. The last time we actually had a same thing with Rotary Club of Ikoyi, through the goodwill of our President Funshaw, we actually did a big program in Lagos General Hospital. There were some patients that were actually diagnosed. I came from the UK with some other doctors locally here, and with the primary health care in Lagos State. Patients were picked with suspected cancer, and we fast-tracked them that day. That's what we do on ground. When we go to rural community, we have people from local teaching hospital with us, and they have a link to the tertiary center. We write referral, hand them over, and then we follow. That's all.
okay.
Within our resources, that's all we can do now. But there are some cases that are self-referred to us. I get to know, she gets to know, and then we have some consultant surgeons we work with, and oncologists. We fast track them, and the little money we have, we give it to the patient to go and access health care.
Now, Dr. Oduwaye, you've been away for a while,
Yeah.
and your absence, we're feeling the gap in our system here. Yes, you come in now and again, but in the future, nearest future, are we looking up to having you permanently here so that at least you can directly engage with the government, with the community, and we're looking at the future. What do we have?
The future, as I always say, belongs to God. There's somebody who's much more senior than me. It's Dr. Banji Egbami. He's our chairman in Nigeria here, in the UK, and Albert handles Albert Valia handles the American. So anything Dr. Yewande is doing, she lies with our chairman. He's a retired senior GP, the founder of Better Hospital Agege. So he's actually in charge on ground here. But hopefully, with God's grace, when I retire from the NHS, I'll be a full charity worker. And that is my passion, actually, to carry it further into the rural communities. But my sincere prayer is that insecurity in Nigeria will be out of the ground, because you don't want to go and help somebody and you lose your own life.
Yes, and especially
a lot of my colleagues in the UK,
the experts that you bring.
That's true.
Yeah.
A lot of my colleagues, both white and non-white doctors, they are more than happy to come over. But I always tell them, let's wait. We hope and pray our government will get over this insecurity. Then the field will be open for us to go across rural community in Nigeria.
So,
Thank you so much.
Thank
A
you.
fight to finish. Final word. 1 minute.
Okay, I also want to add this. We also appeal for funds for cancer patients especially the ones on palliative, so that their children can have something to
live.
rely on when they leave.
Well said. Well said. Very well put.
Yes.
So there you go. A remarkable dedication to such a, like I said, humongous task.
Yes.
Putting up a fight against cancer. We really do feel you, Dr. Oduwaye and Dr. Omikole. And we applaud you for what you do with the Sarah Ayoka Foundation, Oduwaye Foundation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're
Well
welcome,
done,
sir.
well done, both of you. And
Thank you.
may we find more Nigerians to join you, and also the federal government and the state government
Thank
to
you.
begin to look, at the grassroots.
Okay.
Like you said, let's start from the bottom.
bottom.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you
Thank
for
you
coming
very
once
much. Thank you
again.
very
God
much.
bless you.
Thank
All right, so we slowly move towards the end of today's show. It's time to call it a wrap. John, can we do that without your nuggets today?
Never.
Okay. All right. So let's have your nugget. Let's have your nugget quickly.
Yes, thank you so much. So my nugget for today is this. You don't want to get to the top of the ladder only to find out it's leaning against the wrong wall.
Wow.
This insight is crucial in leadership, public speaking, and personal development. Good leadership is about more than just reaching the top. It's about making sure your efforts lead to meaningful results. Leaders should ensure their goals align with their values and the team's mission. And this involves regular reflection to ensure that every step taken is in the right direction. A leader's success should bring real value, not just personal accolades. In public speaking, for instance, the right wall is about connecting with your audience. Speakers have to clearly understand their message and why it matters to their listeners. This requires knowing the audience and preparing a speech that speaks to their interests and needs. A successful speech is not just about delivering, but about leaving a lasting impact. It's essential to set goals that reflect what truly matters to you. Your personal development should be guided by self-awareness and alignment with your core values. And this ensures that your achievements bring satisfaction and personal fulfillment. So this nugget reminds us to align our goals with our true purpose, whether in leadership, public speaking, or personal development, making sure that our ladder leans against the right wall. And that ensures that our efforts will lead to meaningful and rewarding outcomes. If you want to know more about this, ask JS.
So you feel right now that you're in front of an audience, all right, teaching them public speaking, John.
Of course I do that,
You
even
feel-
in my sleep.
I see. All right.
So thanks so much.
Thank you.
And that's the size
Thank
of
you
the show this
again,
week.
and thanks so much to the rest of our guests who joined us to make today's outing a wonderful one and impactful too. I'm Ongma Helen Odele, and it's always a pleasure to be here with you. Hopefully, by the grace of God, we'll be doing this together again next Saturday. But in the meantime, our repeat show is tonight,
Tonight, Saturday night, that is, 10:30,
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning, 9:30, on DSTV 408 and Star Times 308. I am John Sanaya. I'm out.
Bye now.
Thank you.